Today is Thursday, the 27th of October, the year 2016. And this blog or film title will encompass Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is very well recognized in the psychological arena of life. If you study psychology, you know about Maslow. Maslow's model of human needs has a lot to do with human evolution. And it is also a very difficult model to understand, and it's very disputed in many circles because there seems to be a number of behaviors that are not fully explained in the model the way it's presented. I have, after many years of work with this model in my work with NLP, done a systematic analysis of Maslow's model, and I've made some changes to it. It's the same as before, and it's also radically different. For those that don't know about the model, it is written up as a pyramid of needs that Maslow observed every human has to have satisfied. And if those needs are not satisfied, or if those needs are threatened, we have to go to a lower level to secure those needs before we can keep on going up the pyramid up to what is known as called self-actualization or self-realization. The very basic level of humanity is, of course, survival. We need food, shelter, we need warmth, we need water, air to breathe, the ability to eliminate, clothing, and so on. When we have those needs met, we go after the next level, and that belongs to the realm of securing safety, security, and predictability in life. We put borders around what's mine and what's yours and what's ours, for example. And we try to regulate and even dominate our environment to give us that feeling of external safety, because we perceive, at least, that we are living in a unfriendly and unpredictable environment. When those needs are taken care of, we move up to the next level, and that has to do with relationships with other people. Being a member of a family, a clan, a nation. Some call it also having relationships with other people, love relationships, getting married, having children. When that level of needs is fulfilled, we move further up the ladder or pyramid, and we start looking for affirmation, confirmation, and status that we are valuable in the community. Our work is recognized as being well done. And we seek that attention. When we have fulfilled that need, we go to the level called self-actualization, or self-realization. Now, it is from my experience that when we move into the top of the pyramid, all the rules change. Before we get to that top, for example, working as an advertising photographer, which is the level of status, recognition, social recognition. Had my health been threatened, or if my marriage was threatened, then self-recognition would not be very relevant anymore, but I would be going down the ladder, down the pyramid, to secure those immediate needs at a lower level before returning to that higher level to continue. The needs, when they are met, allowing us to go to a higher level, are called present but unaware. We don't have those lower needs when they're satisfied automatically. Note that all of the levels up to and including social status are needs that are externalized. The thing that changes everything when we go into the top is that we start living very differently. We internalize. We are living from the inside out and not the outside in. And it is because of that distinct change in focus that the rules change drastically. And what I have discovered, because I have experienced these things, is that when you go into the self-actualization realm, you start moving in a series of tests that can be very brutal, that will test you spiritually in a way, test your resolve to continue living and growing from the inside out. The first thing you need to do is to give your own approval to your new behavior, whatever it might be, because it is very rare to have status when you're doing your thing from the inside out. People on the outside will not reward you. They will actually condemn you in many ways. And that condemnation or lack of reward and lack of accept can be very hard. So you've got to be very dedicated to stay on the path. If you manage to succeed on that path, at some time, sooner or later, you will be tested at the status of relationships. You will be demanded to test your relationships and remove yourself from any relationship that does not support your continued path toward self-realization, self-actualization. If you're in a marriage, for example, your partner may say to you that I can't live with you while you're just doing your thing, and I have to work for a living, and you just want to paint, for example. I will not support you in that effort. That's when it gets to be very difficult, because ending relationships of that nature will cost you something. They just might set you back a long way, But the problem is, if you don't deal with those relationships that are not supporting your continued self-realization, you will have to leave that path and go back to living externally, from the outside in. So that's a very serious challenge for many people, and a level where many fail. After that, you may have many years of enjoyment and new relationships that support your self-actualization, and sooner or later you'll move into the new level of tests that ask of you, is your security, safety, and predictability internalized yet? Do you still live in a universe that you think is unpredictable, where you need your protection from external sources? Or have you moved to the level of spiritual awareness where you recognize that you have a magical personality that helps you manifest what you want, and therefore making life very predictable in its own way, that will help you out of any accident that's not on your agenda, and also provide you with the challenges you need to have to grow, because higher self knows exactly what you need. If you do not have higher self by your side at this level, I would predict that you will have to get out of the pyramid again and give up the cause and go back to being an external human. Should you survive the tests that are very hard at this level, you will then be expected, sooner or later, to understand that the next level of testing has to do with your ability to transcend the survival. Are you aware of the fact that you are an eternal spiritual being, for example? That death is not a threat. Can you transcend the threat to your life? For example, if you continue doing the writing you're doing, or talking the way you do, or whatever, that you will be punished in a very painful way, tortured, and perhaps killed. Or will you continue? Now, this has to do with your integrity, doesn't it? If you keep your integrity, you will discover that you have arrived. You will not be understandable to other humans. They will think you're crazy because you're breaking all the rules that apply to Maslow's hierarchy of needs on the journey up the pyramid, where living from the outside in is the name of the game. Because you're not playing that game anymore, you're living your life as all life lives from the inside out. You may be appearing as a danger to those others, while you really are not. You're just doing everything you can to be what you can be. This way of understanding Maslow's, or the extended model of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, resolves all the conflicts that are brought up with people trying to understand how this system works, just moving from the bottom of the pyramid toward the top. It doesn't really explain any of the things that happen when you're at the top of the pyramid working your way down. So I hope this creates some clarity for you, and I would absolutely suggest to you that even though self-realization will bring you to the test that there really is no other way to live, and anything else is just part of a bigger game. Do you want to play the game, or do you want to live? Thank you. Goodbye.